Assalamualaikum and greetings, guys. So there is a lot that a company can do to keep their products consistent in terms of quality or in terms of standards, and also to keep them safe and reliable for the consumers. So this topic is about 11 food quality control procedures that every company should know. The first procedure is ingredient specifications. The final product can only be as good as the raw materials and ingredients that you put into it. Therefore, the best starting point is developing ingredient specifications. So, you must make sure to review all information and modify the specification as needed. It is also important to discuss and settle this specification with the supplier. The ingredient specifications should be documented to maintain consistency. Ingredient specifications documentation should include, at minimum, you have probably names of ingredients, vital products attributes, and important dates. But may require more information, of course. Maybe you can find an example given in this video. This is all to assure that the supplier has not changed the materials or the standards. There are so many ingredients. For each ingredient, it is a good idea for you to have an approved supplier list that is available to individuals responsible for purchasing and for quality control. The approved supplier list should contain at least the following information. Number 1, the names of the ingredients and internal code, the names of the suppliers, addresses, phone numbers, and other key contact informations. The trade name of the ingredient also might be useful, and also the supplier code number. Number 3, it is about product formulation or product recipe. Each product must have a written documentation of the formula or the recipe that is available for use as a means to assure consistency between batches, between lots, or even between days of productions. But for highly confidential information, for formulas that only the inventors or your bosses should know, the production worker does not need all the details. You can have a simplified recipe, say in the forms of A, B, C. You mix A to B, you mix B to C, etc. And the fourth procedure is called product standards. So one of the most important tools to assure quality in finished products is the product standard document. Product standards are defined by the physical, by the chemical, and microbiological characteristics of the final products. Physical characteristics including size, shape, dimensions, weight, and volume are important, as are count per package or container, presence of fines, correct labeling, and any other special features which define the particular product. Remember, we talked about identity in the products. And finally, microbiological standards. This depends on the specific food items. Food safety is the responsibility of the processor. So, consider pathogens and foreign materials when developing product standards. Make sure rejection level or criteria for each product and acceptable methodology for determining these are established. Procedure number 5 is about manufacturing procedures. Documented method should be available of the processing procedures to ease duplication from lot to lot, shift to shift, and from day to day. There are several key points to consider when identifying the important processing operations, such as time, temperatures, equipment required, order of addition for ingredients. Some ingredients you need to add first, others are added last, and the weight, i.e. according to the formulation as previously described. After the product is prepared, make manufacturing procedures of manufacturing SOPs, if you like, or portions of the procedures available to the production's employees. Procedure number 6. In process records. This is about taking data and keeping the data as records. So this is important because you should know what is happening to the product during the manufacturing process. So whatever the quality control personnel and the production personnel should be involved and participate in daily maintenance logs. Different products will require different kind of measurement because they generate different data. Example as product weight, the temperature during processing, the time, the revolution per minute, the size, the shapes, ingredients used, product yields, grade or waste, material balance. Maybe some product can be reworked. So these are examples that need to be measured during the manufacturing process. By keeping the records, you can use the record later on if there is any reports or any complaint from the consumers that is related to safety or quality of the products. You can look back at your productions. Number 7, it is about packaging and labeling. Quality control requires packaging and labeling. After all, the first items that influence the consumers are the package and the label. So there are 2 basic packages necessary for food products. Number 1 is the primary packaging, and the secondary packaging is number 2. The primary packaging encloses the food and has direct contact with the products such as a film, maybe a jar, bottles, cartons, even a box. And the secondary package is used to hold together multiple packaged food items for shipment and is meant to provide protection. Those working in the food packaging should know that packaging is selected and designed based upon the needs of that particular food items. Regardless of the design of the packaging, the Food Act and Regulation requires product name, ingredient statement, and manufacturing or distribution location to be on the package. Other government regulations include the size or even the type or font size, the languages, or any kind of printing. You have to refer to the Food Act and Regulation on the labeling requirements. I'm sure most of you have eaten nasi lemak that is packaged in the banana leaf, or you eat kueh that is purchased from the roadside stalls. So there is no proper packaging, there is no proper labeling on this product, so it is not possible to control the quality. As simple as that. Procedure number 8 is called good manufacturing practices and sanitations. Good manufacturing practices is sometimes called GMP. If your company is small, maybe you can start with MESTI, M-E-S-T-I, Makanan Selamat Tanggungjawab Industri. At least GMP and MESTI define specific procedures meant to minimize the contamination of food products by those in manufacturing, processing, packaging, and warehousing facilities. It is your responsibility, and i.e. the management and owners, to ensure that MESTI or GMPs are carried out by employee. Along with the GMPs and MESTI, you should also have programs that cover regular cleaning and sanitizing to make sure contaminations are prevented. Procedure number 9 is about warehousing. Warehousing involves 3 activities. One is receiving, second is storage, and the third is shipping. We're not going to focus on warehousing, but we can cover this in class somewhat, okay? Procedure number 10 is about laboratory analysis. Now you know why you take the class of food analysis by chemicals or instrumentations. So laboratory analysis is a part of QC program that is implemented after the product is produced. Sample that will be tested in this phase should be random and pull out regularly for every batch. For some analysis, very simple methods are used, while other methods requires more complicated and more specialized equipment. All analysis should be performed in a room away from the processing area. And there are, even though you have your labs, but there are other ways to obtain laboratory analysis. You can send your sample to independent laboratories outside, or you can combine your in-house and independent testing to verify your methods. A qualified individual should conduct all analysis. Sometimes it requires a chemist to do this, sometimes a food technologist can do this, and reports the results to ensure they are in line with quality control standards. All test results should be recorded and compared to the product specification and standards. Failure to meet these standards should be communicated so that additional action can be taken if necessary. Finally, and probably the scariest of them all, is number 11, recall plan. You need to prepare for the worst case scenario. A product recall is when a company has to bring back product from the distribution system. Whether the product recall was the result of voluntary action by a business or involuntary action due to Ministry of Health actions. Without plan, things can become messy and unorganized, and it can ruin a business public image. To sum up, there are 11 quality control procedures that I could consider basic procedures for food manufacturing operations. So, if this kind of chapter come in the exam, I think the question should be list 6 of the 11 QC procedures. Explain one of them. Happy learning, take care.